I'm going to start sharing a little bit what we're going to do here. And I want to welcome you, Elif. Thank you for being here. You're such an amazing as a person, such a quality of person. I feel honored to know you. Thank you for being here. I'm not going to give away nothing of what you're going to share because I want people to hear it from you. Yes, but I'm so grateful for the people that are here already and people will come later. They join us wherever time allows. And the people that they will look the reply, I need to apologize because few people contact me, what is happening? What happened is because we needed to coordinate four different times. And in coordination of those 4 different times, on the end of the day, I put Australian Eastern Time, which is Sydney. And Sydney is 1 hour behind Neo in summer. Will change very soon again. And sometimes people get confused. I was one of those people that got confused, and I apologize for the people that were on time. I hope you have the time to come back. But I'm going to honor the speakers, and I want to honor you and your time that you spent here with us, because the little glitch that we have with the time, I want to honor, and I want to have the reply of these wonderful ladies. They are going to impact your life with whatever they're going to share, because they're going to have a bit of the life testimony, which you know how empowering it is to hear a person that went through a life issues and life situation, but they being well in there. They define them what they are. For the contrary, they say, I want a future, and this is the future that I want. They created and they live in it now. And not only that they live in the wonderful future that they created, that beautiful life, they empowering other people with that testimony. And this is why this summit was all about it. I've been working with ladies, helping with emotional restoration for more than 20 years and counseling. Ladies, the life has been hard, or because you make a mistake, or life has been hard on you. No matter what was your problem, no matter what is the problem, there was a problem. But the issue here is, what are you going to do with your problem? Are you going to let that problem to drown you and rob you of living an amazing life just because it's going to take a little bit of changing? It's going to take a little bit of doing something different. But what are you going to decide? See, no, I cannot force you. No matter what Elif, she's going to share something very empowering. But if you don't take it and do something with that, I know each one of the ladies speaking, we just talked to a little bit with Shirley. Shirley has an amazing testimony. Dr. Notavo, Bernadette, each lady unique testimony. And they decided to create an amazing life, an amazing testimony. They can transform other people's life. So I encourage you, get yourself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a glass of water, sit down and enjoy. Between each guest, we are going to have 5 minutes break that you can run and have another cuppa or whatever you need to do. But I encourage you as well, if you want more information about each speaker, we're going to send you information, we're going to send you the website. Each one is going to give you something for you to take away. But we will give you the information. So I want to delay the time of Elif because because of this mistake, she's supposed to be sleeping already long time ago. And she was graceful enough to wait for us because she has something important to share. Elif, I can't wait for you to share. I open my heart, my soul, everything to hear what you have to share, and I'm sure I'm going to get an amazing revelation. Thank you, Elif. The microphone is yours.
Thank you. Well, good morning to you, good afternoon, or good evening to everybody, whoever is, wherever they are. What I want to say, that you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now at this moment. I know Carmen felt like she had to apologize, but I don't think there wasn't any need, because I believe in things like this. So we are in exactly where we're supposed to be, and we're living. No, we're not an inch further or behind, or a day ahead or behind. So we are just living exactly where we need to be and experience that. And as human beings, we are always on a journey, and I have been on a journey. My life in the world hasn't been that long. As you can see, I'm only 37 years old. I live in the UK, and I came here as an au pair only 13 years ago. And when I got to this country, I couldn't actually speak a word of English. I found it really difficult to actually integrate with the culture, because not just only being able to speak the language, but also speaking in the cultural language was something else for me to translate my feelings. And I was already that warrior girl inside me that I was kind of running away from. And I didn't, until very recently, in fact, until I become a mother myself, I wasn't that honest to myself. So I just realized that everything I was running away was actually within me. So I had to find that little girl who has been through a sexual abuse as a little girl, and I had to sit down with her in that dark room that I kept pushing and shoving everything and staying silent. And through my fashion business, I got to meet so many women, and they were so brave. They were so brave to tell what had happened to them. And I was empowered by their stories. And that's what gave me the courage to decide to share mine. Not because I thought that was, I'm sure there was quite a lot of people in my life that thought that I just shared these just to get an attention, perhaps. But I'm sharing my story to help other victims of abuse, hoping that even with all its terrible details, I know it will help them move on just like I have. I want to reach out to those survivors and those victims, and I want them to know that these things happen, but that it doesn't mean that you have to define yourself by your past. I just want to invite them to be happy, because you are worthy of it. And all my time, it's just been a real shock to my body. I was just trying to find myself, and subconsciously I was running away from something that I never even spoken to myself out loud. And one day, after becoming a mother, almost that was just that warrior feeling of giving birth, I think, has given me my voice. And I thought, I'm not going to allow any other child to go through this, because I was very young, and this is still happening. And I'm 37, and that happened to me when I was 8. It still makes me emotional today, because it's just not fair. So I thought, we shouldn't be quiet about this. The silence, the quiet, the more quiet you stay, the more you keep quiet about the whole thing. And those abusers will continue doing that. I've noticed a lot of the people, women, I connected and resonated with, who have been through the similar things. And I thought, we have to stop this. And the only way to do that, by talking about it, and not in a kind of normalized way, in a way that our children should be able to talk about these. If anything in that level happens to them, they should be able to say, mummy, daddy, auntie, uncle, someone in the family, they should trust that what's happened to them is not their fault. I've lived my entire life thinking that was my fault, but it wasn't my fault. I lived in a shame, and I didn't want to talk about it because I thought, if I talk about this, I'm going to be bringing shame to my family. I'll be this woman no man would want to get married. I will bring shame to my unborn children, and nobody would want to be friend with me. But I didn't realize a lot of my closest friends had actually experienced the similar things. So but the sad thing about my story, Carmen, was that I come from Turkey. It's a Muslim upbringing I had, and everything was in contradiction. So I was confused. The confusion of being through what I had been through number of times, but what was culture looking like living, it just wasn't doing up for me. So the only way I could find that, I just kept thinking, if I find my financial freedom, I can then speak up for myself. So that's how I felt. So my journey started to find my financial freedom, not because I wanted to come in the UK and become a fashion designer here or anywhere. This was my childhood dream, but I never actually thought I would do it. But somehow we live what we feel like we need to live. And I came here as an au pair. I thought, if I learn English, I can go back to my country, get a better job. I'll be more respectable, in a respectable position, earn more money. By having my financial independence and freedom, I'll have a stronger voice. I could hire a lawyer if I had to. These are my thought process. But what happened is, life is full of opportunities, aren't they? Yes. There's always opportunities there, and the things happened. I met my first husband. We had a great relationship, but that didn't work out. I was like, okay, never mind. But then but I was always in struggle with my family, and I always kept deep down blaming them for everything that I had been through. But I just wanted to keep quiet, so kept being away. So I stayed here because I found confidence here. I could see that women had voice. I could, but if you ask the people who are local here, they might say something completely opposite. But to me, I belonged here. So I felt home when I was here. And so I started my fashion journey. I had shared these with you last time when we spoke. It was an accident in a way, because again, I didn't have any money. I had no money. So I had to work, and the only thing I knew was sewing, because as a little girl, when my mom was a dressmaker, and we used to make our clothes, and every time when there was some cloth left over, I would make some clothes for my dolls, and all those designs and everything that I made were usually the clothes that I wasn't allowed to wear. So I was creating these clothes for the dolls that I would idolize. And now I feel the sense of responsibility, because now I become that woman that I admired as a little girl. So
Yes.
this is my mission, to help women who feel stuck in their past. Their story may be completely different.
That's right.
Their story nowhere near this, but there's no bad or wrong, worse or less. We know our pains is we all heal in different level, and you as a professional know this. We have different fixing, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain because it's not my profession, but
you're doing it beautiful. You're doing in a language that everybody understands, the language of the heart. Go ahead.
So I just feel that if someone's going through these, ask for help. Ask for help, because asking for help is not a weakness. It will empower you, and you will end up inspiring others. And if you knew how much your story can open doors just for somebody else, is phenomenal. I mean, I remember when I actually did a short video clip of my this part of my life, and how I just moved on from feeling stuck and back in my past, and I kept questioning, and I just kept thinking, well, this is all I deserve. This is all I deserve, because everything was happening. Like, I got married, I got divorced, sadness, fallout with family, and then I got married. I was going to have a baby, then my dad died, and that was just the time after that I made it up with them. You know, I had given up, and I had that chat with that little girl inside me, and I had forgiven her and everybody else that was there in that room, that in my head. But I thought, okay, the life is against me now. I'm gonna lose it. This is it. I don't deserve it. So I'm sure a lot of you going through, we all go through divorce, death, cancer, abuse. There is so much that happening in our lives. But what you need to do is you need to allow yourself to heal from it, because you can. And how can I explain? The change starts in the darkest point of your life. That's what happened to me. In my darkest moments, that I made the decisions for better for myself. Let it be personal life, let it be business. I mean, I left my country because it's another summit, I tell you. It's such a long story, but when I left Istanbul, I was only there for a year and working for a textile industry as a manufacturer. And I arrived to Istanbul. I didn't have any money. I just had a few hundred Turkish lira, and I went to stay at my high school friend's flat. And the plan was to get a job, and we were both going to rent this flat somewhere near, in between, like two towns, so we can both go either side, and I was going to live happily ever after. But 3 weeks into my time in Istanbul, we were burgled.
Oh wow.
It's just like, oh my goodness, why? I mean, you just think. And it was the time that I really had fallen out with my family, and the anger in me was coming out of different forms. I was having fight about why my mom changed my tree in my room. I was having fight with my dad why he did say that, but it wasn't anything to do with it. It was something to do much deeper than that. So I came to Istanbul, and I had all that. I split up with my boyfriend, lost all my money. So I thought, God, I need to do something else. So that darkest moment made me decide to come to the UK. And it's just like that darkest moment of not having money and having the pride of not wanting to ask anyone for it made me start my own business. So if you're in that darkest moment in your life, just keep going, because then there will be light. You know, when you're in pitch dark and there will be tiniest light in the distance, but will lit the whole room. That's exactly how life, and try to find that light, because it will change your life. On that note, I will leave the stage to you.
Yes, it's so beautiful what you say, because I can see a lady here. I can see a little girl that she grew up with a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of sin that she did not understand why this is happening to me. And she brought the hurt into her early adulthood. However, in one point, she said, in her darkest hour, she said, forgiveness. She forgive herself, the little girl. She forgive the people that around her that hurt her. And there's something that I love that you say, because it's one of the emphasis that I give to the ladies when I work in the emotional part, because they don't realize that when you don't forgive and release, because you can forgive, but yet carry in your mind, so you're thinking about it every day. No, forgive and release. You're doing the favor not to those people, you're doing it to yourself, because you're releasing yourself free from that. And yes, like you say, you get emotional. Of course, was your life, your body, and you wish that didn't happen. However, instead of bring you and pull you down, empowers you. Because this is who you are today. You took your pain, your disappointments, and you use it to better yourself. And I applaud you, because I know how many women, that's my heart, you're speaking my heart. And that's what I'm doing things like this, because it's so many women that they have broken marriages and they think that it's the end of their life. They feel terrible because of that. Okay, I believe that when you marry for your whole life, but sometimes things happen, doesn't work. And what are you going to do? Destroy your life? No, for the contrary, pick up what you have, whatever pieces, to create a new person and restore your life. So I can see how much you did in your life, how much it's not even improving, because you created a new Elif. Is a new person, this beautiful person that you enrich. You don't realize, I don't know if you realize this, but when you talk, it's something that you release, a calm, a trust. I can trust you. Yes, if you share that you went through, but now you are over. Look at you now, I can do it too. And that is the message that I wanted to hear from people, to empower. But I want to ask you a question, and I love if you can talk a little bit. I know your story, and that's why it's so beautiful. Okay, people know you like the fashion designer, award-winning fashion designer, that you do a lot. You are on television, you are in the radio, you are in everywhere. But I want to, even in a brief few minutes, if you can share with the people here how you started, because I know you didn't start it as a fashion designer. No. It's so, because I believe in small beginnings and never give up. So if you can share that, that will be empowering to women.
Okay, of course, I would be happy. Yes. Well, when like I said, I came here with not much money. I was an au pair working for only £60 a week. Of course, I was living with the family that I didn't have to pay rent and food. They always looked after me very generously. I would never forget their kind of hospitality. But it was, I had no I had no liberty, you know. So I started, first of all, I started working in a cafe as a waitress to earn some money so I could start living outside the family. And I left being an au pair. And when I arrived to the UK, because I didn't have much money, and I just was, I am a productive girl. I don't like sitting still. And a lot of my friends who know me so well. I just couldn't just sit. I have to either work in my head, or it would have to be doing, cooking, tidying up and sorting things out. I'm a sorter and doer. So I was working as a little alteration girl in a shop on my village. And this woman, her name was Jo, she decided to move to France, and she asked me if I would take on some of her alteration customers when she's gone. I thought, why not? Extra few pounds wouldn't hurt me, you know. So I started my alteration business as a mobile service, and I printed some business cards from an ordinary printer, chopped them up with scissors, and walked around the households in the neighborhood, and just started getting phone calls. So I was so busy. I was going around the houses, picking them up and bringing them home, doing them after work. I was actually working in a cafe. So I had like hours of working days, but I was young. I had so much energy, and I didn't know I had a bigger mission back then. So that was my starting point. So I was stitching through my dreams that I didn't realize. It was my way of starting. So I started my alteration business, and it got so busy I couldn't take enough orders because some of the houses were too far from each other. So I decided to buy myself a little bike from a car boot sale for £10. That was my business asset. And even my first sewing machine was actually given to me by a local woman who knew me through the shop that I used to work for. Said, I've got this sewing machine, I'm going to throw it away. Do you want it? So my first sewing machine was out of a tip, and and my transport was a bike picked up from a car boot sale. And I just worked so hard, and I opened my first shop through my networking. Again, I was just me. I was talking to people, I was helping them. I was always present, I would say. I was always present and not really stuck in my own thing. And if I was with someone, I was so with them. And so that made a very strong relationships. So I have got good relationships through that part of me. I don't know, it just naturally comes. And so I started my alteration business in this tiny little kiosk. 3 years into that, I opened my boutique, and the rest is history.
Wow. So beautiful, so beautiful. We living in a generation today that we want everything fast. We want to be multimillionaires in 2 weeks. Some people can do it. I don't know. I don't have doubts. I don't think it's the many, but it's not about that. Life is a journey.
And it's not about money. I agree with you. I find it quite annoying in a very strong way, because it's not about money. The first 5 years of my business, I invested in people.
Yeah.
I made friends. I created trust. I put up events. I've been organizing events all my entrepreneurial life. But I created this trust. My first, for instance, I designed clothes for a theater production, and they approached me through someone I knew, and I did it for almost nothing because I just wanted the job. I wanted the experience. It's not about money always.
Right.
The experience you get from doing such things is invaluable. And 3 years down the line, those people created a stage show just for me, and we were on newspapers. We were a sellout. West End Singers was on a stage for my show, and this girl came to this country with a small suitcase, broken heart, and £200. You know, it's just, so it doesn't happen that fast, and it doesn't mean having lots of money you're going to have happiness. It's about being full. It's being full in your heart. You know, it still matter if I had a huge house, mansion with swimming pool and no friend to share. What's the point?
That's right. That's right. So well said, so beautiful, because you enrich here with that 20-minute share. You talk about her, don't define you. You created a new person. You give hope to those ladies that after so much pain, they feel so destroyed, they feel with such a low self-esteem, and they don't know what they want to do. Sometimes they have to change their lifestyle. They have to leave behind sins or family or friends. It's a complete change. Like you have, you even change country. And that's what I say. Sometimes you do have, I change countries. Okay, different reasons why we come to Australia, but I needed to leave behind my family, my friends, for a new beginning here with my husband. But life is like that. If you refuse to go through the journey of life, and we want that instant getting to a place like you started your business in a bike, which is beautiful, small beginnings, and you was interested in building up friendships, blessing people, just giving what you have in your hands to people. And I believe the life pays back well when your heart is in the right place, because people are watching you. People are going to give you opportunities, and that's what they happen to you. And that's what I say to the ladies: listen, no matter what happened to you, no matter what you are today, determine in your heart what you want. Have a dream, have a vision for your life. But then you have to put the work. You have to work until, and it's not that you arrive, because it's so much more for you to do. This is only even if you have successfuls already, but this is the beginning of the greatness things that you're going to not only achieve for yourself, how many lives are you going to touch? So just to wrap it up, just one sentence, what do you want to leave to a ladies that went to similar things? Just one sentence.
What I would say, that life is, there is a choice in life. And if you don't make a good choice for yourself, somebody else will make it. So make the most of your own.
Yes.
Because that's your life.
Beautiful, and thank you, because it is true. If you don't make it a plan, how do you want your life to look like? Somebody else will do it for you. And then you will live either somebody else's dream or under the finger of somebody else's. Thank you,
Exactly.
Elif. Thank you
Thank
for
you
the
for
privilege.
having me.
Thank you. Has been a privilege to having you here. And I know so many people are going to be blessed as the reply is going into
Thank
the
you.
internet. Thank you so much. And we will see you soon.
Thank you. Have a lovely evening. I'll stay for a few minutes and listen to the speakers.
Thank you so much. And thank you. Well, let me say, has been amazing this sharing, because the people who did a course with me, you know that I have a course from her to victory, and it's very dear to my heart. Like Elif, she hit rock bottom and she changed her life. The same was with me. I hit emotional rock bottom. There was very, very dark my life. Even if I was a life coach, there was a time I didn't even know how to help myself, because it's easy to help other people. But when you find yourself in the deep place, it's difficult sometimes because you get too clouded here. However, there was in that deep hole or pit, whatever you want to call it, that I decided how painful was what I was going through. But I remember through my painfulness, I cried out to God and I say, this is difficult. And I start thinking about other women that they are going similar pain, maybe not the same problem, but similar pain. Because when we go through problems, the problem in common that we all have is emotional pain, and we need to be restored. And I remember that I said, need to be restored. And on the way of my restoration, was easy, was simple? No. I needed to learn myself to find tools on how to restore my life. But I remember I started thinking in other women. I say, oh, there's so many women around the world, they are in pain, they are suffering. I want even to, what I'm doing is good, but I want to learn more to reach more women in a different way. Because we was used sometimes to hear, to expecting, especially people who work in coaching, expecting sitting in front of you and spill all the beans. What happened to you? What happened to you? Tell me. And sometimes I learned they don't want to open up to you because they're in so much pain. So we needed to find a different way to help those women, because even if they don't want, or they can't talk, because sometimes they can, because of since they are around her. It's almost they have someone's hands in the mouth that they can talk. How are they going to heal? Well, I'm here to say you can heal no matter how you feel right now today. You just have to learn how. You just have to listen to people like Elif. Listen to the other speakers that will come later, that they all went through something, different things, but they find their own unique way in how to heal. And one thing that I learned, many times we're looking for outside healing, but actually the healing has to come from within. Ourselves, we have to be ready and prepared to heal ourselves, to give permissions to get healed, to let go of the past, let go of the pain, forgive those people, forgive the situation that you went through, and say, you know what? Here I am. From now on, I look into the front, I focus into my future, into my dreams, my visions, and I'm going to create an amazing future for myself. So I encourage you, listen as you receive the reply, listen it again and again, because I know your life can be transformed. And we're going to, I don't know if you noticed, we have, after every speaker, we're going to have a couple questions. As an example, is a survey that we're going to ask you, what was your biggest take from what Elif shared with us? There has to be, for me, I have few things that really resonate in my life. I wanted to hear it, and I know Elif would like to hear what is the biggest take. And the other thing that I thought was, what about fashion? Is fashion empowering for you? Because I remember after I sort of started changing, one of the things that I noticed, my clothing, I didn't like it how I was dressing. I liked it before, but then I neglect myself. I didn't, you know, through my darkest time, I didn't feel like even put a makeup or nothing, no clothes. And I remember one of the changes was my clothing. I needed to find I needed to have color, I needed to have different things to wear. And I thought clothing for me are empowering because you put a good clothes, you look in the mirror, put a little make, and you look amazing and you love it, lift up yourself, which we can have later on in time when you have your time to talk just about how clothing can be so empowering. So you can answer. Yes. So thank you so much because it's so much that I take in, so much. And you will receive the comments as we go from other people and as we receiving the replies. So thank you so much. And we're gonna go to our next speaker if she's ready, because I really hope that she didn't mess up her time and she's here. Okay, I'm waiting for the connection with my next speaker. Yes, I
Can you
have
hear me?
someone, oh, there you are. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Benedict,
I
welcome
had some
you.
issue with the sun and the windows, and so I was trying not to have the bar of the windows in the middle of the face.
You look beautiful and sunny and radiant. Thank you so much. Because thank you, and we appreciate so much your time here. Benedict, you shared with me the story. For me, was amazing your story and different on the other stories. Because one of the things that really got my attention is something that you say, I was the first engineer in a men's well. And I say, oh, what does she mean? There's a lot of engineers around the world. But you have an amazing story that will empower women to do those things that you think, you know, sometimes you think, oh no, this is all men's, or this is all women's, or everybody are more qualified than me. Whatever comes to your mind to stop you from reaching out what is in your heart, you are going to be the person that is going to come and share a story that change your life. And I don't want to say anything else about what you do. I want you to share with us, please. Share with us, Benedict. Welcome.
I will start to share a story which is much more personal actually than job wise. So just let me know. First of all, I need to tell you I am on an RV road trip, and we were supposed to go to a camping at 3 p.m. tonight. So I want to make sure to have a good Wi-Fi. And the camping is closed because of COVID. And so we end up on a beach, which is just beautiful in the sun, but I am on my hotspot. And so I do hope everything will be okay. If not, I've got the mobile phone as well. And so I will do it on the mobile phone. So
okay, but
if you see me changing, this is just it. This is the beauty to be your own business, to have your own business and to be able to be wherever you want to be, actually to do your business and to mix both your life and your business. And I believe it's a very feminine way to do business actually. And I hope that more and more men will be able to follow us. But that's another story. What the story I wanted to share with you. I am just arriving at the gate. I am white because I'm so scared that actually I need to play my fist like this straight to say, no, I can do it. I can do that. I can do it. You cannot faint. But I am so scared that I'm ready to faint, actually. I'm waiting for the gate to open and I hear the ring bell. It's just like a wake-up call. I say, okay, now it's time. It's time to move on and it's time to do what you are here to do. I try to look around and first I spot him, my little boy. He's there, he's playing. And when he sees me, he has this beautiful smile on his face, and he's just flying in my arm. Oh, mommy. I tied him very, very serious. I was so afraid I would never see him again. But I know that we are still in danger, so we have to move fast. So I told him, where is your sister? I don't know. Okay, let's take her. She was only 2 years old, so she was in the very lower class of the kindergarten. And so I found her, she jumped in that I would not be able to carry her. So I took both of them, each of one in my hands. And I don't run because I didn't want to attract too much attention on hers, but we worked very, very fast for the kids. It was just like they were running. Too late, the teacher blocked me and say, well, the dean would like to talk to you. I said, yes, I bet. I talked to myself, I bet she wants to talk to me, but there is no chance I stop, because then I will be trapped again in her office and I will never be able to go out. And so I said, okay, the first objective is to cross the door of the school and to get out. So I said, well, I will call her in the car, and I keep my 2 kids very, very strong. No way that nobody is going to take them from me. And I walk out of the door. I said, okay, that's first step. Second step is to reach the car before he can come and take them from me again. So I reached the car. I fastened their seat belts in their little seat they were 2 and 3, so very small. I'm so emotional that I don't know even how I can drive. And on the highway, I finally says to the kid, we need to talk, your dad. I have just kidnapped my kids from school. And I was thinking, but who I am to do this kind of thing? This is not me. This is not my own integrity. This is against all of my values. Who I am. And today I can say I am Benedict Ertsan. And I am a feminine leader, and I am the founder of the Feminine Leadership Academy, because I want women to embrace their inner authority so they can create a life of infinite possibilities. There is no reason we should say no to our dreams. There is no reason we should stay kept between, because a man has decided that what you're doing, who you are, is not who he wants you to be and to do and to have. There is no reason. It has been the most difficult decision for me to take. I still remember the date. It was a Monday, January 19th, 2004. My kids are now just grown up, but he kept the kids and he didn't give them back to me. And I didn't see them for months. And I thought, no, they are too young. They will never understand. They will figure out that I have abandoned them. And this idea was just not possible for me. And I wanted to make sure that they will know that as their mom, I will do everything possible to keep them with me and to give them what I wanted to give them. So it has been a difficult time. And I want to share that, because if you are in this kind of moment where you don't know if there is a light out of the tunnel, find somebody who can be this light for you. You don't have to be alone, and you don't have to be alone to do that. I was at that time, because there was no internet, no these kind of things. But today, no, we don't have to be alone. And that's the reason why I decided to step up and to share my story and to create this academy to help women to step up themselves and change the lives around them. That day, I changed not only my life, I saved the life of my kids. And because they were there, they saved my life. Both together, it goes together. I don't hear you.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Beautiful story, beautiful testimony, because like we say, you know, your life, sometimes we say, oh, that just happened. No, it's happening to other women's. And your story, if one woman needed to hear you, is worth it what we're doing, because she will turn around and transform somebody else and go on and on and on. And this is something we are placed to help each other here, one way or another. And thank you for your testimony. And I know you have so much more to share with us.
Yeah, so I started my career as an engineer, as you said. Back then, there was no mobile phone, no email, no computer. Yes, I'm very, very aged. My daughter says, there was dinosaur when you were a young mommy. She was 8 when she told me that. I said, well, I should be very, very old. But nevertheless, it was another time. And the only model that I had as a smart young girl was the secretaries typing for all the letters, because there was no email, so all letters were typed by secretaries. Or there was what I called at that time the dragons. And the dragons were those kind of women married with their job, which was tougher than any man, just to show that they could be, that they were capable, that the company can trust them to be a good leader, which was actually not a good leader because they were denying their femininity. But at that time, I think that this was the only way for them to do. And so I grew up wondering, okay, where can I sit into that? I'm a smart, I have a diploma, I'm a master's degree in engineering. I want to use it. I don't want just to type later to reflect somebody else's thought. I want to have my own thought. And I don't want this dragon. I want kids. I want a family. I want love. I want a life and a job. But I had to figure out how to get that, because there was no model. Actually, it was back then, end of 1980, very beginning of 1990. So yeah, it was more or less 40 years ago. and it was not that simple to find that way. And my first attempt was to say, okay, if I behave like a man and if I do the same thing as them, then maybe they will forget I am a woman, and maybe they will accept me as a leader with them. So I wanted to belong. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be part of. But actually, I was totally wrong. It took me 20 years to figure out that I was totally wrong, because as soon as I enter a room, a man will directly spot out if I am a woman or if I am a man.
Wow.
Because this is what we have, genetically speaking, in our brain. The first thing when we meet people is to know, is it a woman or is it a man? This is the first question we have ourselves. We need to know. And when you are in front of people, you don't really know if it is a boy or a girl, if it is a man or a woman. You feel very awkward, and you will keep your attention on that person to say, okay, which category is it, right or left? Because we do need to know. This is the spices, the reproduction, brain, reptilian, and whatever you want, that force us to get a category. Is it possible to reproduce with these people or not? And we ask that as it's totally unconscious, but it's always there. And that's what is amazing. And as a woman, sometimes we forget that this is an advantage to be a woman. And we just figure out that we are not enough because something is missing between our legs. And so we will be missing. We are not enough. We are not complete. There is something missing in us.
That's right.
But actually, there are a lot of advantages to be a woman. But I believe that we own our own message, and to get heard, the first thing is that we need to hear ourselves. We need to listen to ourselves. And when we are denying who we are, then we are not helping. And we are not helping anybody else to see who we are. because we just try to be somebody else. We just try to figure out, to have a show off. We just try to be a pale copy of somebody else. And as a result, people feel that there is something missing, that there is something which is not just, that there is something which is a core. And so they will leave with that. But when we own our message and we stand for it, we will find people who are not agreeing with that message. But not agreeing doesn't mean that we cannot discuss. Not agreeing doesn't mean that we cannot find a common ground. Not agreeing doesn't mean that you are wrong. It just means that the other one has another perspective. It doesn't mean that your perspective is not valid.
That's
It can be
right.
just complementary.
That's right.
And in a lot of workplace, women just shut down if people say, oh, no, you don't get it. No, you don't get it. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So what are we going to do? And to talk to somebody else. But the first thing is really to own our own messages, because nobody can do that for us. We are the only one that can own our message. We are the only one that can deliver the message in a way that other people can follow us.
That's right.
And my first recommendation will be to prepare the message, to be clear on what you want to say. I love the quote of President Wilson Woodrow. I don't know if I said the word well, but it's a very last century president in the United States, and said he was the first one to have a short speech as a congressman. And he said, when he was interviewed to say, how long do you prepare your speech? He said, well, if I have 10 minutes to speak, I need 1 week to prepare. If I have 15 minutes, I need 3 days. If I have half an hour, I need 2 days. And if I have an hour, I'm ready now. And so this is so true, because the more you want your message, the more you need your message to be impactful and to go through that something, and to get people following your idea, the more you need to prepare it. The more you need to make it in a way that it's easy for people to listen to it. It's easy people to understand what you want to do. It's easy people to remember what you wanted to say. And so this is my cheat sheet, so you will not see anything because this is but anyway.
We can see it.
I always have this kind of things because it's clear and I've got everything I need. And if I am too much in and I start to digress, I say, okay, let's come back to what I want to say. And so I would share that with your audience so they can drop in the feminine-leverage.com/from her to victory. And I will be happy to provide them a better copy because I am on RV, so it's all but done by hand, but I know it by heart. I've used that for 20 years and it has always served me. So if you have a confrontational conversation to get, a difficult conversation, some things you are not at ease with, you have a big meeting with a big client, you have something difficult to say to somebody who has hurt you, you are going to go for a big job, getting that ready will help you to be just present to what is going to happen in the discussion, because you know exactly what you want to say. And you know that in only 1 or 2 minutes, you can deliver your message because you are so crisp on what you want to say.
Yes, that's right.
And so this is something I learned when I was a young engineer in public speaking. I have kept that for all those years. And I still use it. And it's still one of the favorites for my clients to say, oh, this is so easy.
Yes.
Yes, it can be easy to deliver your message when you know exactly what you want to say.
Exactly right. I'm going to use it. What I want you to do, if you slowly, because I have a little angel helping me in the back of the curtains. And I want Matt to take note of the website where people can find the gift that you are giving, because people don't understand that little, maybe they see a little note, piece of paper with some notes. No, that's powerful, because what she's given, okay, he already put your
Yes,
email.
I put it.
Yes, is that correct? Yes.
Yes, yeah, I put it
Perfect. Yes,
in
people can.
this.
Yes, I don't know if you was from the beginning. We have a glitch right on the beginning, and people try to join, but we put the wrong time. What we're going to do is, whoever is here is going to receive it today, but we're going to send you,
Okay.
and we're going to put in Facebook, and we're going to put it in YouTube. Everybody's going to receive the free reply, because it's a lot of people, for whatever, they was not able to sign up. But I decided to give the gift and honor you with your time and your gift of that you're sharing, so that people can have it and they can listen over and over. And you, when you receive it, you can share it with your group as well. Okay, keep blessing us with your testimony. Thank you. What else you
Thank
have?
you for having me.
It's my pleasure.
Okay.
Yes, and let me, did you have, what can you say, it's a lot of people that I work with, because I'm an emotional restoration coach, and what we do is, for the ladies, they need to start over in life. You know, in life, so many times, you don't need a big problem to start over. There's sometimes we take it wrong. We think that we need a tragedy to start over, but sometimes you feel stuck in what you do. You feel stuck in a situation that is like you become so blocked that you don't know how to move forward in life. So no matter if it is big or small, you can start over again anytime in life and create a better life for yourself. So what can you say to those ladies that are listening, that they find themselves as an experienced woman working with other women? I know you heard this all so many times. What can I do? I need to start over. I need to change my life. So what can you leave them? Something for them to be, you know, a little pearl.
When you say starting over, I get that. I'm writing my 7 chapters in my life. So I have moved countries, I have changed job, I have divorced, I have remarried, I have created coming from corporate to my own business. I run different businesses and so forth. So I had a lot of different chapters to start over. And each time it was because, okay, I've got everything that I want so far. Now, what is the next step? What do I want to add in my life before I quit this planet? What is the next step? So I am today in the state to fulfill my mission. I want to help 100,000 women, because altogether we can change the life of 1 million people, and 1 billion people start to count for me. So I know that as a woman, we change life around us. And so this is a chapter of my life today. And each time, what I will recommend, if I recommend one thing, is follow your heart. And sometimes people tell me, but what does it mean? How do I know if I follow my heart? How can I follow my heart? And what I will say is that you follow your heart when you feel joy, when what you do feel joy. It's fun, it's easy, it's effortless, it's nice. It feels like your day has gone, but you didn't feel it. You are full of energy. You are just a kid again. Then if you are feeling that, you are following your heart.
Beautiful.
If you are in, that's difficult. Where do I do that? How I'm going to do that? What shall I do? When can I do? Who I shall contact? How I'm going to do it and everything. There is a good chance that you follow your head. and you're not following your heart, because your heart has a way to bring to you exactly what you need when you need it. Life has an agenda for you. And when you follow your heart, you just put at the right place, the right people, the right things, the right help, the right everything, and feel and things just fall into place. Life can be easy and fun.
Beautiful.
And you need to believe me, because when I was a little girl, it was everything but that.
Yes.
And even at 14-year-old, my father told me, kiddo, you are not here on this planet to have fun. You are here to do your labor life. So this weekend, you are not going to have fun in the forest. You are going to help your mom, taking care of the leaves in the garden. I was thinking, 14-year-old, I was thinking, it means that for 80 years, I will just have to do my duty, no fun. What's the point?
Yeah.
There is no point.
That's
It was
right.
totally wrong. It was his story. And I decided that it will not be mine. And this is what I wanted to pass to my kids. And that's the
right.
main reason why I divorced from their father, because their father was not able neither to have joy. He was happy to survive. I wanted to try. I wanted to give my kids a user manual on how to be happy.
That's
I wanted
right.
to give my kids a possibility that everything is possible as soon as they want it.
That's right.
And everything is possible for you if you want it. And your heart will tell you what you want and what you need, even
Beautiful.
more than what you want, what you need.
Yes, beautiful. It's beautiful. I took notes of what you say because it's very powerful. If you feeling joy with what you are doing, then you are following your heart. Because many times, and include myself, I struggle doing certain things. And then I stop and I say, why I have such a struggle? And I realized that was a good idea, but I'm not supposed to just to do good ideas. I'm supposed to do what empowers me, what makes me happy, I'm happy when other people that I serve get results. That might give me joy to see. So whatever it is, you heard Bernadette, please, whatever you are doing, you need to feel joy. And the things needs to come and ease. It's a journey. It's a journey. You have to step into the journey. But listen, this is so powerful. They comes not from a book, they come from her experience. And that is priceless. Thank you, Bernadette, for your sharing. It was an honor to have you here. And we will be in touch.
Okay. Anytime. It's always my pleasure to help women to step up and to show the way of a better world, because I believe that together we can go further and we can do it.
Very good.
We can do it.
Very good. Thank you so much. Wow.
You are welcome.
Yes. Wow. I'm so, so glad to have Bernadette today, because we need all kinds of women to listen to her, because each one has a story to tell. So very soon we're going to have another guest. But before we have another guest, I would like to share with you something that I'm going to share with you for all the people, the plugin, they are here listening, the people in Facebook, wherever you are listening from, or maybe you're going to listen the reply. But I decided, see, all these ladies so far, they show one thing. They had a dream, they had a vision, and they followed their heart, and they live in the life that they want. But I found that through the work that I do, that not many people know how to dream. Not many people have a vision. Not many people have what it takes to walk into the path of fulfilling their dreams. I believe with all my heart that God is the biggest dreamer. I don't know if you believe in God or not. There's not for me that I don't even know. I'm talking about me. But doesn't matter if you believe in. Look at the universe. How beautiful! How only someone with a vision, with a dream so big can create you and me and this beautiful universe so unique. So that means the dreams and visions are in our heart. We need to visualize our dreams, because when we visualize our dreams, we can make it come to pass. But it's a journey. It's a little bit of steps that we have to do to fulfill our dreams. These ladies so far have shared how they did it for their own purpose, for their own life. Okay, you have a different dream, you have a different purpose, but that is unique to you. But you can achieve your dream. And if you don't have a dream, learn how to manifest your dreams. I have a class that I do. I used to have one very short class, but I decided to add to the things that I learned in myself from people like Bernadette, like Elif, such a dreamers with a vision, and they fulfill the life and they live happy and they have joy in their life. You don't have to live struggling. We were not created for that. But you have to learn how to walk in the path, in your purpose. And this is what I'm going to talk about it in the class. And you can join free in my website, or we're going to send you a link. If my website is going to be in the chat, so you can just sign up and be part of the class. So I'm so thank you, Matt. Carmen'sTraining.com. That's my website. You can know a little bit more about what I do. I invite you to just check out my website. I want to invite another guest, another special guest that we met with Shirley through a seminar, the same way that I met Elif. But what impacted me about Shirley, I hope that Shirley is all ready to share with us. And we're going to welcome Shirley. Shirley is a person that has a courage. She pushed when she wants something, she pushed to have that. So Shirley, are you here with us yet?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, there she is.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm so sorry, Carmen. With the time difference, I was thinking we're a bit later. So hello, welcome everybody.
Not a problem. See, the time has been, the next summer, we're going to get the time together. We're going to learn from this lesson.
Yes, exactly.
And Shirley is saying hello to us from Western Australia, the sunny Western Australia.
The sunny Western Australia, very warm here today.
Yes, here is very warm too. And Shirley, when I met you in a circumstances that were not the ideal, because we was doing an amazing conference few days. There was something like a week conference that we have to show up every day for so many hours. And for us, like for you was 1 in the morning, for me was 3 in the morning. I get up at 2 to be in the conference all night. But see, this shows when you are determined, you want to learn, you want to change your life. Doesn't matter how you feel. And I remember all of a sudden, they point to this lady called Shirley, and she was lying there. And I say to myself, oh my God, she's in bed in a conference. I never saw anybody in bed or lying in a couch, but I'm going to let you tell your story because it's your story and this can encourage and empower someone. Okay.
I'm just going to move so that I'm not so much in the shadow because I rushed downstairs to
yes. Can you put your volume up? Because
how's that? Is that better?
A little bit better.
Okay, that's as loud as I can go here because I also don't have my earphones. Would you like me to go and get those and then we come back, or shall I keep?
Yeah, it's a little bit better. It's a little bit better.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, the reason why I was actually laying down during that conference was I have broken my back the year before, and I was slowly recovering. I lived in the UK. Unfortunately, I lifted something heavy, and I didn't know at the time that I had osteopenia, which is the precursor to osteoporosis. And as I lifted this, I broke my back in 2 places. So it took me a very long time to get going again. 6 months of laying around. I started to get some physio and help and moving, and I was recovering. I'll come back to that later. But for this conference, so roll forward 2 years, just before I'd bent down to do something, and I'd hurt my back again. So I was in a world of pain. I didn't fracture, but I had definitely damaged it, and this was not a good thing. But as you said, I had committed to this conference, and I was going to be determined. So I rested, and I changed pain medication, etc., in order to show up. And I think it's that mindset that I've developed over many years, that I can do it. I can control some things I can't control, and then work out how to go forward. So in this case, I knew that if I could lay on my back and have my laptop on my lap, then I could do it, and then I would rest during the day. So, but for me, it was all night, and gosh, hands up to those people that do night shift, because it was brutal.
Yes.
But yes, and I had the pleasure of meeting you. So, and here we are.
Yes. Okay. Like the other ladies, you have a story as well. You have a beautiful story, because we share together. And really, I was touched. I don't know how much you want to share of that, but even if it's two little lines, you're a successful businesswoman, which is fantastic. And then you find yourself that you needed to learn, like myself, how to work here in the internet. That alone, they have to give us we learn when we learn we have to do online work. But you mentioned that you, as a child, as a young girl, needed to learn to live with a mom. There was a mom that was not the same like all your friends. Would you like to share just a little bit, because that, I'm sure there's many women that went through that.
Yes, sure. My mum had bipolar, and I'm an only child. So in those days, it was called manic depression. So they didn't have this, and there wasn't a lot known about it, and it was very, as mental illness can be, you know, not a lot of information around. And my father decided when I was 5 that he couldn't cope. So he decided to leave a 5-year-old to deal with my mum. Now, that comes with all sorts of challenges. One of the biggest ones is that as a child, you're never secure. The thing about this is, when you are a child, that you don't actually understand. You're just in it, and you just have to get through each day and hope that today is going to be a good day. Now, lots of those days, they weren't good. And many, many days of not knowing where the food was coming from, getting myself to school and getting myself home, and having a, gosh, I'm getting emotional because I've been running around. So,
do you have some water?
Yes. So just actually understanding that when you love somebody, particularly if it's your mother or your parent or your child, you love them unconditionally. And when you're a child and something's going wrong with your parent, you take it a lot on. And in many times, I felt that it was my fault. It was my fault that my mum on this day wouldn't get out of bed. She was too sad to get out of bed. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't being a good daughter. I wasn't doing enough. And then there'd be other days where in a manic phase where we're in a car and I've been pulled out of school and we're driving down a highway chasing rainbows and having a great time. And then I'm the good daughter, and I'm feeling really happy, but always knowing that tomorrow could be another dark day. So this roller coaster for years and years and years, it lays an imprint on you as a child. So also because of nobody talking about it, my mother was one of 11, and they were all fully aware that but my mum had problems when I was a baby. Apparently I was taken off her and then given back, and my grandfather at the time apparently intervened, and everybody did a lot of big covering up. So the thing is that I learned really early on to keep a lot of secrets, and even though it wasn't referred to, I was lying, because when anybody would ask me, yes, everything's fine, everything's going really well, and a big cover up. So you can imagine I'm a 6, 7, 8, right through to 12-year-old with all of this weight, taking care of my mother, protecting this. So through my teenage life, luckily she met a lovely man, became my stepfather. He was in the SAS. So that's a whole nother story, going from one thing to another. But for the first time, I could actually wake up in the morning and feel secure. I knew how this day was going to pan out and how it was going to go on. But of course, a lot of those messages and things are already in my head. So I still didn't speak about it for a very, very long time. And we won't go into, but I can relate to lots of things that the other ladies are saying. But it wasn't until my mum, it got to 2000, and now I have a couple of children. My mum, she got a lot of treatment when I was in my 20s, and got some good therapists, good medication, and our life changed completely. When my son was born when I was 25, all of a sudden, it was just so beautiful. I had the mum that I'd waited 25 years for. I would watch her with my 2 children over the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And I would often stand by her door, just watching her interact with my children. My children adored her. And I would have tears rolling down my face because it was just so beautiful to watch. It wasn't available for me, but here it was for my children. And I was so grateful. So roll forward to 2000. Within 2 years, my father died of a heart attack and my mother died of cancer. As I said, I'm an only child. So in those 12, for Dad, I had no warning. I got a phone call walking out of uni one day to say that your father has just died of a heart attack, which, you know, you see on the movies sometimes where those people just, you know, slide down the wall. That's exactly, I mean, that's not in the movies. That's your legs just give out when you're just hit with this. I was only talking to him earlier that day. So he was on the other side of the world in Brazil when this happened. Then a year later, my mum got lung cancer and we were given 12 months. Now, that was very, very challenging, but I chose to care for her at home. And she died in my arms at home, just the 2 of us. And before that, the 3 days before that, when she was still conscious, and they put a special port in to relieve her of the pain, and then, you know, her body slowly shuts down. Being in her bedroom at home with all familiar things, and it was my chance to say thank you. You know, I'm adopted. I forgot that. I'm also adopted. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for being my mother. And it'd come that full circle, you know, all of those years. So I was 40 at this stage. And that event fell in a great hole, as many people do when they're hit with such tragedy. And that feeling of loneliness, of being alone. I don't have anybody. I'm a single mum, no brothers and sisters. And that probably is the point where I started doing some training and looking at other things, mindfulness, law of attraction. I got into all of that when 2006 hit. So 6 years later, when The Secret hit, you know, I was in, you know, fully. I'd also done some training with Tony Robbins by that stage, and understood then that the power is within me. I can control my thoughts. Previously, I didn't think that. I truly believed that it was set in stone. I would always be, big part of me would always be sad, feeling that lost child, feeling responsibility, happiness and joy. No, I think I missed that. I believed all of these things, even though I was quite successful at the time and doing lots. I needed to do the work. And I know I've heard you say this earlier today. And it doesn't happen overnight. It really doesn't happen overnight. You know, particularly if you've had a very difficult childhood, or you've had some trauma, allow yourself to actually acknowledge that happened.
Yes.
See, that was something I didn't give myself space or time, or, you know, forgive the situation. I was just on that treadmill of just survive. And now I've come to the point where I don't like the word victim, and I don't like the word survivor. I think both of those polarize us. I think it just is. Our past does not have to set ourselves up for our future.
That's right. So beautiful what you share so far. In the beginning, you mentioned some mental illness. Today, in television, in the media and internet, everywhere you hear about mental illness, which is so good because it's so much of that. But being aware, we can help people. We can understand people, because back in the day, you know someone, but everything was hush hush. And there was a lot of damage in the families, in the children's, the people they have to live every day that. And I think what you are sharing is going to empower so many people. They suffer themselves or have someone to come out and say, I need help. There has to be help.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think, you know, it's so important. It's so important. Don't shut down. Look, I think one of the things I worry about with social media is that we're bombarded with all these beautiful messages and people doing fancy things and stuff. You know, it's really important, guys. That's not real. Okay, it may be in that moment of that time in that person's life, but you're not seeing the balance. And that's why now, during COVID, so I've only just come back to Australia. So during COVID, I was in the UK and locked in a flat for months. And what I decided to do was I would write a book. So I wrote a book called Resilience. And because I think if there's a thread in me, it's resilience. I do bounce back, despite whatever's, you know, and the play on my back. But you know, I will bounce back. But where did that come from? Well, I believe that I was put in this family because I could handle it. I could handle it. Yes. So I believe, as I think Aleph was saying earlier, you know, we're where we're supposed to be. I didn't understand that for a long time. I was angry and I was upset, and, you know, why me? The big thing, why me?
Why me? Yes.
Yes. Again, you're going to throw universe, you're going to throw something else at me. So, you know, the divorce, the same thing. Why didn't my marriage work? I worked so hard at that. You know, you fall in that hole. Why, you know, my father, who's such a strength, why did he have to die when I'm just on the cusp of creating a new career for myself? At the time, my psychology degree. And just by the by, I spent 3.5 years doing a psychology degree. That 5 days with Tony Robbins was like the equivalent. I learned so much, because you're coming at, you know, from a very different point of view, learning that you do have control of yourself. So for mental health and looking at social media, please know, don't compare yourself to anybody else.
Right. Very good.
It's your story. It's your experience. It's your now.
That's right.
Okay, and that's what you can work with. And then from once you realize this is your now work out what can you control and what can't you control. And the most important, you can control this.
That's
You
right.
control your thoughts. It's not easy. And as Carmen said, you know, like on my back in pain, like, don't get me wrong, those couple of days, because I actually couldn't hold myself up. So I couldn't I lived by myself. My legs wouldn't support my spine. And you fall in this hole. That's okay. I really want people, it's okay. You can fall in that hole. The key is you can't stay there. Allow yourself 2-3 days, then you must reach out. So I am very fortunate. I'm grateful every single day. I have an amazing small group of best friends who have been friends with me for 30 years. And we always connect with one another. You know, we've all gone through, you know, children and divorces and marriages and deaths and things. And, but we always check in and we know that we can be real. So I have a keyword to my friends, which is bumpy. So I've been doing this for many years. So if my friends contact me and, you know, how are you doing today? I'll say, I'm actually feeling bumpy today. Now that's code for I'm struggling with whatever it is. And then they will hop on, we will talk about it. You get it out as girls do, you know, we're great at just talking it out. You know, why am I feeling this way? You know, because I'm annoyed. I've worked so hard to be walking again. And now I'm back to square one, you know, and that's the thing that Facebook and the social media and things don't show you, that these people, they are struggling. They do have issues, but you don't see how they're bouncing back. So that's what, you know, when I'm doing my coaching with people, that's the first thing, you know, where are you? Where do you want to go? But more importantly, what's going on in your head? Because there is the numbers are incredible. The negative thoughts that we have going in a loop in our mind, all of us, even those of us that know that we can control it, they're still there. So we have to replace them and we have to come up with strategies. So I have a number of strategies that I do for myself. And that's, you know, going on the backs of other people who've created amazing programs to help you.
I'm so grateful for everything you are saying, because we need to do more things like this, more summits, more workshops to put awareness in people. And by these words that you just say, I know it's going to bring hope in so many people, because people don't realize we was born with resilience inside of us. The problem is that we don't know how to use it. And sometimes we hear so many voices on the outside. In our mind is the worst enemy. Your enemy is not the person outside, it's this. Because when you learn to change your mindset, all those negatives, listen, I'm a coach and I still have to fight. And I believe you have to fight. It's not that you arrive to a point, yes, you heal, you learn, you arrive to a point that you learn how to fight the things inside, how to fight the voices outside. But Shirley is saying, look at her, a little girl, what she overcome to turn this amazing woman empowering and having a coaching other people. We're going to send you and we're going to make available her website, her contact, because I think if you have someone, you need to connect with her. I believe what we learn in university, in a school is good, but the best university is life. Because no one could teach you what you learn for life. I say, I was a coach before I hit rock bottom with certain emotional problem. And my best school was when I hit rock bottom. I didn't know that I have so much resilience. Like you say, I didn't know even I was so good in helping others. I didn't even believe that I can have depression, and I hear depression. But I needed to learn how to move from that hole, to rise up again and create a life, not only better for myself, to empower others as well. And if I was able to do it, you can do it too. And you just need to learn the tools that are available. Like Shirley, right in front of me, she is a tool. If you need help, please, she is a tool. Get in contact with her. If you need emotional restoration, I am a tool. You can contact me. I have seen so many, like you, Shirley, when we talk, so many women restore because what we share, because we understand what we went through life. That is, we understand. And no matter what is your problem, you can be divorced. Like Shirley was sharing about the things she went through with the friends. In life, you go through different pain, divorce, you lost someone dear in your life, and you have to go through a mourning period. It's a lot of different problems. Then, we have an experience with my husband. In the time that we're supposed to retire, we become broke. We lost everything. We did a wrong thing, and we start over in life at 60. So we know what it takes, and we are so happy and looking forward, and I know you can do it. So please, you have a problem maybe with a name that you have. Yes, my problem is this, but let me tell you, no matter what is your problem, the first problem you need to fix is the emotions. Because how can you make a plan to fix your life if emotionally you don't even know what to do? It's nothing wrong. I mean, it is wrong that you feel like that, because when I feel like that, it is wrong. But you can fix it. Just get help. I encourage you to get help. Shirley, I want the last 5 minutes to share, okay, there was the sad part of your life. But your story doesn't end there, because you created this amazing businesswoman. And I want to encourage people that no matter their past, if you are determined, you can create an amazing life. If in 5 minutes you can, please, to encourage other women, please.
Absolutely. I think if I was to leave one thing, forgiveness and gratitude. Beautiful. These two things are so powerful. If I go to sleep every night and do a list of gratitudes, because it's the last thing that's in my mind, that I'm grateful, because even when things are really bad, you can find something, even if it's something small. Thank you for the bed I am laying in. Thank you for the house I am laying in. Thank you for the food that I had, right through to huge things. Thank you for my successful business, etc. Find, even if it's 4 or 5, so you go to sleep with your subconscious thinking that there are good things, even in your moment of despair. Now, this is hard. You've got to dig really deep sometimes, really in the face of tears, maybe. Dig deep and find those. So it's the last thing in your mind and the first thing that you do when you get up. When I'm in the shower in the morning with the water flowing over me, I take a moment. It's calm, it's quiet, and just plan my day, but more importantly, again, thinking about what I'm grateful for. That stops me falling into that hole that I talk about. Now, not every single time, but most times, 8 out of 10 times, if I'm feeling bumpy or there's something going on, focusing on like bookends to my day with gratitude. The other thing is forgiveness. When you are able to forgive people, it frees you. If you can twist that around, in that some people find it hard because they did the wrong thing and they deserve me to still stay angry at them, and whatever dialogue you've going on in your head, if you can flip that around and think, actually, it'll do me good to forgive them, it'll free me. If you can do that, trust me, so much will just let go, because you can't change their behavior. You can't change the way other people are talking, behaving, even in the past, how they spoke to you and how they behaved. You can't do anything, but you can control what you do and how you react and how you think. Yes. So if you can do your gratitudes, because while you're thinking something positive, it's hard for those negative things. It's like you're building a fortress around yourself. And then the other thing is, if you need to forgive, and we all do, I'm sure that there's not anybody that's not harboring something. If you can do that, you will free yourself, empower yourself.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
See, each lady talk about forgiveness and gratitude. So that means right there, you have 2 tools: forgiveness, release, forgive and release the person that hurt you, or even if you have to forgive yourself for something that you did, that, please forgive yourself. And the other thing, gratitude. That, when I was in the darkest moment of my life, in that period, and there was one moment I was lying in the couch and I couldn't take it anymore, being like that. There was no myself. I'm a happy person, a outgoing person. I was lying in the couch. I got up. And the thing that came to my heart, how to get out of the situation, think something to be grateful. And I thought it was a joke. I even got upset. How can I be grateful? Look at my life. I got nothing to be grateful for. 2 days took me to realize I'm alive. If I'm alive, I have hope. And from there is how I start going up again. Shirley, what you just shared is such an amazing sharing, and really have so much gratitude in my heart, because I know it's going to touch so many lives. I know that. I know as we put it in different, because it doesn't finish today. This we're going to keep promoting, especially what you just shared. I'm going to promote it because I know there is so much need for people to say. So I have so much gratitude. Will you be able to, where people can find you? If I want to connect with you, how can I connect with you? I got an angel behind the curtains that is going to write your details. Okay.
Well, thank you, Angel. You can go info@shirleycampbellsuccess.com. That will email me and I can get back to you there. And I do apologize for the first interrupting 5 minutes with me running around and screen on off.
No. See,
we got there.
I used to think that everything has to be perfect. And I learned that life is not perfect. So can we not perfect? So we can pretend that everything goes perfect, and we talk about it. Perfection is only for internet when people want to show things, and they prepare. Okay, I just want to check. Can you, I wanted, Matt, you put it in the chat, Shirley's. Yes, Shirley, is that your information?
Just looking here, sliding down. Yes, that's perfect. Thank you. Thank you, little fairy in the background.
We will send it into social media because it's very important. So thank you so much. And we're going to have an amazing speaker like you and like the other ladies, which is Dr. Natavo. There's another woman with a story that is so amazing. Dr. Natavo, we want to call you right here to share your story. Are you here? I know I saw you here before.
Hello, hi everyone.
Oh, there you are.
Yes, I'm here now. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm so excited. Thank you. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Can you hear me clearly, loud and clear?
Yes, perfect, perfect. I was impacted for your story when you shared with me. When you share your heart, you have a heart to help others, like all these ladies, they've been here. Yes, they have a story, but the end of this is not even the end. As the journey goes in life, their heart is to help others, to impact others. And I know your story started in such a way, but it's not an end yet. You are in your journey. So Dr. Natavo, I would like if you can share how your story began, please.
Right, wow. Thank you so much, Carmen. It's an honor to be here, and it was really empowering and inspiring listening to the stories of other incredible women. You are all healers, and thank you so much for sharing your light and your wisdom with me. As Carmen said, I'm still on the journey, so each and every word of encouragement means a lot to me. Now, my name is Notabo Ncube. Notabo means mother, teacher of joy. I was born and raised in Zimbabwe. And at the age of 14, unfortunately, my mother passed away in a tragic accident. It's true that out of pain, something beautiful can emerge. And for me, it was the gift of a promise. As I was watching my mother lying down in her coffin, I said, Mama, Mama ngiletemba, which means Mama, I'm hopeful. I continued and said, I'll try by your means and I'll strive to become a doctor. Those were my last words to my mother as I was watching her lying down in her coffin, as I was saying my last goodbyes. 2 years after that, we migrated to Canada, my family and I. And when we arrived in Canada, we found ourselves living in community housing, subjected to poverty. Now, as you all can imagine, there is no child, a teenager at 16 who imagines that they'll be living in a poverty-stricken area like the community that I lived in. I was exposed to sex workers. I was exposed to teenagers who had dropped out of high school. I was also exposed to drug dealers, all sorts of things, you name it. I lived in that neighborhood. And, then I came in alignment with a program called Pathways to Education. Pathways to Education was my saving grace, literally. Pathways to Education gave me a mentor and a tutor to guide me in my academic journey when I was in high school, and to the point that they helped me to perform to the best of my abilities. And I graduated as one of the best students at the time and made it to McMaster University into a pre-med program. So pre-medicine is more of the prerequisite into medical school. And when I was on a full ride scholarship, went to McMaster University, and then from there, what happened was I applied to Windsor University School of Medicine. And when I applied to Windsor University School of Medicine, I made it. But unfortunately, the scholarship that I was on, they couldn't continue funding for my studies. And so I hit a dead end. I had no means to support myself so that way I could fulfill my academic studies. And I so happened to be in a hair salon around that time, and I was carrying a Pathways to Education magazine. Pathways to Education magazine had highlighted my story as one of their gifted students. So as I was, holding the magazine, the lady who was doing my hair took interest in my story and started asking more about who I was and what my dream was. And I was, Spirit allowed me to be vulnerable with her. And I shared with her that I'd been admitted into medical school, but I didn't have enough money to start. And then she was gracious enough to say, there's something about you, there's something about your energy, there's something about your presence. So give me some time. I will need to talk to my husband, and then we'll see if we can help you. And 3 days after, she called me and she said to me, we're going to give you $10,000 to start. Now, I'm sharing this part of my story to say to each and everybody who's here, on your journey, on your hero journey, when you stay true to yourself, when you stay true to the calling in you, when you stay true to the dream in you, the universe has a special way of aligning you with the right people, the right resources, the right tools to catapult you where you are to where you want to be. You don't need to know how it's going to unfold. All you need is your why. All you need is your why. If you're in alignment with why you desire that, if you know for sure that your dream, your vision is committed to serving others, to changing other people's lives, the universe has a special way of bringing you in alignment with the right people who are going to hold your hand, who are going to open the door for you so that way you can walk through. And when you walk through the door, look back and pull those people behind you so that way they can walk through that door of success and make it as well. It's a chain reaction, And so that woman extended so much grace and kindness to me at my moment of need, at my moment of vulnerability. But of course, $10,000 wasn't enough for a full academic medical school year. And I so happened to be talking to a friend of mine around that time who suggested that I reached out to Oprah Winfrey, since Oprah Winfrey is all about empowering the girl child and women through education. And to be honest, I grew up in Zimbabwe, so Oprah Winfrey is of my mother's generation. I didn't grow up watching the likes of Oprah Winfrey on TV, but I knew that she was a powerful woman, and I knew that she was a woman who was known for helping other people. So I just intuitively listened to my friend and followed her lead, and then went on the Oprah Winfrey website, and the first thing that popped up was, tell us your story, you become what you believe. What I was looking for was money to go to school, so I was looking for a scholarship or bursary, but there was nothing connected to scholarship or bursary. The first thing that popped up was, tell us your story, you become what you believe. And that theme resonated with me. If I may be honest, at the time I didn't know I had a story. But when I read those words, something in me moved, and I quickly typed in, at the age of 14 in Zimbabwe, I made a promise to my mother to become a medical doctor, and I'm studying medical school now. And the Oprah people called me back. They were calling back a 22-year-old girl child who was living in community housing, who didn't ever imagine that one day she would be receiving a call from the magnificent Oprah Winfrey. My story is a true testimony of that. Life has a special way. Life has a special way of taking you through a path that is going to lead you to a place that is bigger and grander than what you imagined for yourself. It's the promise to my mother that was a guide. It's the promise to my mother that has led me on a spiritual journey that I didn't imagine for myself. The richness of my being, my spirituality, came as a result of my pain. As I behold consciousness manifesting itself in and through me as God. So I went through 2 series of interviews with the Oprah people, and they afforded me a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity of being part of Oprah Winfrey's live class on You Become What You Believe. I'll never forget being in that space, being the youngest in the room. They'd invited roughly about 40 women. Being in that space, listening to the stories of incredible voices, incredible women, women like you and I. And of course, the story of the one and only Oprah Winfrey, as she was narrating her story about how she came from rural Mississippi and how she emerged as a voice of hope and inspiration. My 22-year-old self knew in that moment that maybe the hand that life had dealt me with was preparing me for something that was more, for a life that was bigger than myself. That maybe I was a vessel of light, a vessel of hope. That maybe I was called to heal through the gift of my story, through the gift of my voice, through the gift of my story. I left that room with no money, but what I left with was something more than money can ever buy. Oprah Winfrey and all those women who were in that room, they shifted my consciousness. They shifted my spirituality. I was able to look within myself and see myself through a different light, through a different lens. And I knew there was something in me. I didn't quite know how I was going to give birth to it, but I know that the seed of destiny had been ignited. The seed of purpose had been ignited. And I knew that there was a mission that life was calling me to. So I left that room now feeling renewed, knowing that I can go out into the world and attract whatever it is that I desire, knowing that I can go out into the world and manifest the money that I needed to finish my studies. So I ended up completing medicine I was applying for different bursaries, for different scholarships, and different people extended help to me along the way. And upon graduating, I received a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity of sharing my story on the TEDx platform.
Wow.
Now, as you all can imagine, TEDx is an international organization for speakers. That is the platform that launched me into the personal development industry. So it was another whisper from the universe affirming that I was on the right path, affirming that the world needed to hear my voice, affirming that the world needed to hear my story. And then from there, I was invited to South Africa, where I spoke before 5,000 people.
Yeah.
Alongside two people from the movie The Secret, Lisa Nichols and Reverend Michael Beckwith. They are both from the movie The Secret. That was another whisper again from the universe.
Yeah.
From there, everything took off. I've been to Zimbabwe, which is my native home country, where I shared my story, where I empower the girl child and women. I also now have a young girls mentorship program where I help to raise the next generation of African female leaders. But I've also spoken in the UK, in South Africa, in Kenya, in the US, and of course in Canada, which is where I'm based now. I say this to say that every dream is possible. Every vision is possible. And there's a destiny with your name on it. And I'm calling you to rise to it.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what you've been through. All I need you to do is to step into your light. All I need you to do is to step into your glory, to understand that the power has always been in you, that you are here at such a time with a divine mandate. The question then becomes, are you willing? Are you willing to become? Are you willing to dare greatly? Are you willing to fulfill your ancestors' dreams for you? You're not here by chance. You're not here by coincidence. You're not here by accident.
Beautiful.
You're here on purpose.
That's right.
And I know this to be true, that each and every one of us is special and unique.
That's right.
There's a place for you in the world,
That's right.
and nobody else can walk in your shoes by you. Nobody else in the world can fulfill the mission in you, the purpose in you by you. So when you stop becoming, you deprive us of the gift that you are to the world. Rise. You are light. You are beautiful. You are empowerment, your inspiration, your grace, your hope. You are everything that you see deep within yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody's any better than you. Nobody's any more special than you. Even all the phenomenal people that we see around us in the world, they started off somewhere. They believed in themselves. They didn't necessarily see the entire staircase, but all they did was to take the first step.
That's right.
And that's what I did. That girl child from Zimbabwe, who at 14 years old looked at her mother and said, "Mama, I'll try by all means and I'll strive to be a doctor." That wasn't a coincidence. Life already knew that one day I'll be speaking to women all over the world, that one day I'll be using my voice to inspire and to empower. Now here I am, being true to the mission in me, being true to the purpose in me, hoping that as I stand in my true authentic voice, I serve as a reminder to you as well, that you too can, that you are possible, that you can achieve whatever it is that you set your mind to achieve. I know this for sure, because I am that girl from Zimbabwe. I am that girl who lived in community housing. I am that girl who was told she would never amount to anything. But here I am, on the path, on the mission, living the grandest dream possible for my life. I want the same for you. My hope is that we join hands and we come together and we shine our light. That's what we're here to do, to stand in our unique light, to embrace our authenticity, and to allow the light to shine through our broken cracks. We've all been through something.
Yes.
I've been through a lot, made mistakes. I no longer call them mistakes. Now, because now I understand that each and every wrong turn, each and every mistake I've made, I needed to make it so that way I could evolve into a higher level of awareness about who I am.
That's right. That's right.
And I know that's true for you too.
That's right. Thank you. It's so powerful. Because,
Thank you.
you know, when I prepare who will speak first and second and third, you was coming in this time, and I can see now why. Because you almost put everything together. The people can understand. You know, from the first speaker, it's like you put it all together in such a way, in such a power, with so much strength. I love what you say. The seed of destiny was ignited. The seed of destiny. We all have a destiny. I love you sharing your destiny from, like you say, when you started with your mama. You know, I relate in so many things with what you say, and I'm sure as we start distributing all these experiences, so many people around the world are going to be touched and transformed because of these words. Thank you so much. It's powerful. Let me ask you, because I remember you told me you fulfilled your dream of becoming a doctor.
Yes.
But then you realize that you have even a bigger passion that at the time you didn't know that you had that passion.
Yeah.
To empower people. Can you share please why that is so important for you?
Right. You know, Carmen, I think for me, I'll start off by saying that looking back on my journey, I realized that I've always been guided. Now, I didn't always know this to be true back in the day when my life was unfolding a certain way, a certain path. Like, for instance, like I mentioned earlier on, being invited to be part of Oprah Winfrey's live class, being the youngest in the room, and listening to stories of other women. So I realized that this path, the passion in me has always been there. Now, I was in that room because of my lack of money, but already the divine had a bigger purpose and a bigger plan that I couldn't see at that time. So I would say the passion in me was seeking to realize itself in and through me as God, but I wasn't paying attention in the way that I am now. So this passion has always been there, but it was embedded in the journey of me becoming a medical doctor. That is the path that led me on a spiritual journey and led me on a path where I could unravel who I am, the deeper parts of who I am, the crevices of my being, the crevices of my purpose. So when that shift happened to me, when I came to that level of awareness about who I am, I had to step into it because energetically and spirit-wise, I couldn't run away from who I am. And the moment I stepped into it, the universe just started opening up for me. And I'll tell you this much. This doesn't feel like work for me. It feels like home. I love what I do. I love connecting with women. I love connecting with the girl child. I love, sharing my wisdom, my light, what life has given me in the brief years of my life experiences. So that's what I feel now more connected to, and that's what I want to do. That's what I want to give to the world now.
Beautiful, so empowering, so empowering. And something else did you say, and was said by the other ladies as well. Even when you feel that you are taking a wrong turn, to arrive where you're supposed to go, you needed to take what is supposed to be.
Yes.
So many things went wrong, in a sense, okay, few things went wrong to the point. We have doing this in Zoom and we do it in Facebook. But something went wrong that all the people, for whatever, something went wrong, they were not able to sign up. Few people contact us. And Elif say something powerful to me. Carmen, things are happening the way they're supposed to happen. Maybe you don't understand as it's happening because I have all this plan of, you know, you want so many people to sign up and so many. But as things begin to turn, ideas come. How can I make it powerful? And the ideas begin to come. We didn't have it, the people here. But now we have an amazing speakers. We have a recording that we're going to use the recording to send it to the end of the world, to so many places that we're going to reach, because many people here in Australia, they're working. Here is midday right now, so people cannot attend at the morning. In England, it's too late. It's nighttime, people are sleeping. So see, it's the second condition, they stop people. But when you send the recordings, you reach more people. And all of a sudden, the problem, what I thought it was a huge problem, I was nervous, all of a sudden turned into a blessing. Because the problem become a huge solution that is even bigger than just the beginning that we're supposed to have. So I appreciate so much. We feel honored to have you here, you give us the time to share. And I know that is not just going to bless me as it's blessing me. It's going to be thousands of whoever listens is going to be, because your story relates to so many people in different countries, not just one country. You know, because you come from poverty, you come from suffering, from pain. You come from your eyes seen a lot of wrong things, but you never turn one of the wrong things.
Right.
To become something. You have it imprinted in your heart already. What do you want to become?
Right. And I think it's also a reminder that, you know, it is through our pain that we unravel certain parts of ourselves. For me, at each and every defining moment coming, I would say I experienced pain. At every defining moment, I experienced pain. When I was 14, when my mother passed away, but that was what gave birth to the promise I made to my mother. Moving to Canada, living in community housing, that was painful. But that's also what brought me in alignment with the Scholarship Foundation. And then from there, when I was starting medical school, not having money to go to school. So it was my lack of money that led me to applying for money to go to school through Oprah Winfrey. When I graduated from medical school, the pain of my circumstances at the time pushed me into my calling, which was really sharing my voice and my story. So I would say our pain is our greatest gift. It's there to propel us and to push us into more of who we are. So our duty is to allow that pain to transform us.
Beautiful.
That's what it's here to do. It's here to serve us. It's not working against you. It's for you. It's teaching you. It's leading you to the deepest parts of who you are. It's saying, girl, Mama Bear, this is who you are. Open your eyes. It's a nudge from the universe. So really, in the grand scheme of life, our pain is our greatest gift. Our pain is our power.
Beautiful, beautiful, and beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Dr. Notavo. Thank you so much. And I know it's not going to be the last time. It's many other things that we're going to create to empower women, like you say, through your voice, through the power that you have by being sitting here and speaking, not to me, to thousands of women. And they're going to be touched. And I realized today, like Shirley was talking about mental illness, it's so much mental illness that we need to put up there. Those people who understand, they suffer, they went through it. So, and they can empower and open doors for other people. We need to share what we have, our message. That's why we need a clear message. And I can see that you have such a clear message. for us.
Mhm.
There was a
Thank you.
delight just to listen to you and put attention. You don't want to miss a word. So we feel honored. I feel so honored to meet you and give us this treasure time. Dr. Notabo, if someone wants to contact you because they want them to speak for them, or you have a program, or they want to contact you, how can they contact you?
So via my email, I can send my email address here. I can share it with everybody. I'll just send it here.
Okay, okay,
Mhm.
perfect. They can write to you to the email. Do you have a website or something?
Yes, I do. So my website is www.drtabo.com. So www.drtabo.com.
Okay, easy.
Mm,
Our little
yeah.
angel, we have the little angel behind the curtain that is writing.
Oh, thank you so much. And then my email address is ncube, which is my last name, and nothabo@gmail.com. I'll say that again, ncubenothabo@gmail.com. Or maybe I should say the third time. Oh, perfect. She got it right on. Thank you so much.
So good. I
Yes.
think if you ever have an internet event and you need someone to help you because your technology, Matthew is
Yeah.
the person to contact, which there's something else. Through this, you meet so many different people that you want to give an opportunity that somebody else knows. And Matthew has been a little angel for me. So yes, so he's here to serve whoever needs an event to be moderator. Anyway,
Right.
thank you so much for your time, and we are coming.
Thank you.
We're coming to the end of this beautiful and powerful summit. I'm delighted because each of the 4 ladies, they deliver an amazing message. Not this only a message, they write it down, they coming from the heart. And that is what is important. The biggest powerful message is the one that comes from the heart. They come from your experience. Because when you're talking about a story of what you went through, it's your story. And it's power because it's in your heart, it's impregnated in your life. And as you notice, every lady they share part of their story, they become emotional because we are emotional people. And even if you overcome that issue, it still is part of you. It's who you become because of that experience. And this the reason I'm thinking it's powerful. I'm so enriched today. I want to say thank you to Elif, to Bernadette, to Shirley, to Dr. Notabo, because they enrich my life and they even motivate me to do more summits, more workshops to empower other women, to bring information that is needed to know up there. Yes, but overall to empower, because, and that's what I want to offer you. I want to give a free class, and I want to invite you to a free class where I'm going to take you into a dream journey, because many times we don't realize the importance to have a vision and that vision being turned into your dreams. Because sometimes we have it's 2 types of dreams. The dream that you have when you are sleeping and the dreams that you create. But you need to have a vision first. You have to learn to visualize what you want, and then you have to as well create the dream. It doesn't happen like that. You have to believe, you have to make it happen. So I invite you just to go to my website, and there you can, in carmenstraining.com, Carmen's with an S, the S from my last name, carmenstraining.com, And you will find there that you can sign up for a free class, because I believe dreaming and achieving your dreams is an art that we learn to. And it's times that I was always a dreamer, but when I hit rock bottom, I lost the ability to dream. I have to relearn it, more or less, put it in practice. And now I begin to manifest my dreams. And this is the beginning. There's so many more to come. And I'm going to have a special guest in the class that she's going to share the most powerful manifestation, and so beautiful. The dream that she had to have a baby, and how by having the vision, she's fulfilling her dreams. I'm going to have two guests. So I encourage you, just save yourself a seat for the training. And I want to say thank you for the people that were able to join earlier. I want to say thank you to all my beautiful guests. I want to say thank you to Matt, for helping me here. And I be honored that this is going to be listening for you, that you watching the reply. Thank you for taking the time to watch the reply. But I want to ask you, send me a note. If you got something, please put a comment in my website or send me an email. In my website, you have an email that you can write to me. Please, I want to hear how I reply with other people, because this is not just for you, it's for other people. This is how we enrich our life, by helping each other. So for now, I just want to say thank you, good eye from Australia, and we will see again. We will be together again. Bye for now. God bless.